My apologies for being a little late. I've already spoken at another breakfast meeting this morning. Can I say first of all that I'm delighted to be here and have the opportunity to speak to you. I started out my life before I became a politician as a youth leader, and I was president of the St Vincent de Paul Council for Youth Clubs. We had 22 youth clubs in Dublin. That's how I met my wife. She was a youth leader on the north side and I was a youth leader on the south side. And after living on the south side for all of these years, I promised her at some stage we would move back to the north side, and now I hear this house is available just over the Can I just say to you, the reason I'm running for this office is that our country is at a really important crossroads. What decisions we make now will be important for this generation and for the next generation. And we can think about this in very poetic terms and whatever way we like, but I would say this to you: think about this in terms of our country recovering. Think about this in terms of achieving what the Proclamation of 1916 said, the part we probably forget, the part that said we should strive for prosperity and happiness. Prosperity and happiness. And I believe the presidency that I will try to bring to this country, I will put every nerve and sinew, all of my experience. I've been a councillor for 20 years, Lord Mayor, TD for 26 years, chairman of important Oireachtas committees, Minister for European Affairs. I negotiated the Amsterdam Treaty, an MEP, leader of our group out there. I have considerable experience in politics. I want to put all of my energy and experience into helping to lead this country in a direction that by 2016 will make us say, yes, we are prosperous again and we are happier. I'm really concerned, and I've been raising this in every single speech that I've made since the day I said I would seek the nomination. I'm really concerned that at the height of our prosperity, it coincided with the highest levels of suicide in the history of the state. And I have said this in every meeting that I've had since I sought the nomination, and I said it in a group of Fine Gael councillors back in June when I was asking for the nomination. And one of those councillors present was the father of a young man that took his own life. A few weeks ago I opened the conference at which he spoke, and he said that since his son died, and shortly afterwards his girlfriend took her life, people have started to come to him, people who are thinking of taking this terrible step. And he said they described it to him as being in a very dark room with no door. I think we've got to help each other to find that door in whatever darkness we find ourselves in. My early life wasn't a very good one. I'm not going to go over it. You've maybe read about it by now. But we got through that. We all have our trials and tribulations in life. And I want to talk to you this morning a little bit about solidarity and the reasons that I believe what I'm saying will best bring about solidarity. Everybody can tell you, anybody can tell you, you can have rights and social justice. It's the easiest thing in the world. Great badge to have for us to get elected. But who provides those rights? Is it always somebody else? Is it not true that with every right goes a responsibility? A responsibility for yourself, a responsibility to others? To be able to take that responsibility in accordance with your ability to do so. I believe it is. I believe with every right goes a responsibility. And furthermore, I believe in my heart in social justice. I spent 20 years working on the housing committee of this city. 20 years. And when I became Lord Mayor and invented Lord Mayor's commissions, never heard of before. And I got Gareth Fitzgerald to chair the Lord Mayor's Commission on Housing, produced the best report since 1915 and improved the housing conditions of probably 90% of the people living in inner city flat complexes, not just the ones, incidentally, in my constituency across the Liffey who are living in deplorable circumstances at the time. I brought in a bill to give votes to prisoners. Why? They're not going to vote for me, but because prisoners have to take their rights, in my belief, as well as have to take their responsibilities as well as have their rights. I think rehabilitation should start from day one. I met a prisoner the other day. He says, Gay, I wasn't thinking of voting for you, but I heard you talking about prisoners the other day, and I'm glad to hear you saying that because what you're saying is correct. He was out actually on one of those volunteer benches where I met people the other day who were talking about volunteering. But if you want social justice, in my belief, the only way you can create the public services, the health services, the educational services, the social services, is if you create the wealth to pay for those services. If by the sweat of their brow somebody goes to work, you have to encourage that enterprise. I'm not talking about the Tony O'Reillys of the world. I'm talking about the woman in St. Teresa's Gardens who said to me, why does my husband go to work when our medical card is assessed on his gross income, our rent is assessed on his gross income, whereas if he was on the dole or whatever, we would get the medical card and our rent would be assessed on what he actually takes home. Why is there this disincentive? We have got to create incentive for our enterprise so that we create the wealth to have social justice. I believe in those four pillars: enterprise and social justice, rights and responsibilities. And not just in terms of law, in terms of how we live our lives. And I hope to be able to persuade you during this presidency that that is the way through our crossroads, the most important crossroads we find ourselves at. We are in the process of making important decisions. We need cash flow and confidence. The cash flow problem is being addressed with great difficulty. Our President can help restore that confidence. Thank you very much.